The last thing when it comes to video, actually no, it's not. We have one more thing. But yeah, the next thing we have is Saints Row Reboot.
Can't wait.
We revealed it. Here's the thing. I have this is gonna be good. So it releases February 25th. I'm excited. A quick rundown. There's a really short blog post on PlayStation's website that describes it a bit. So developed by Deep Silver Volition, Saints Row is a complete reboot and features a brand new setting, brand new characters, and brand new tone, all refreshed for today's gamer. Saints Row is set in Santo, I don't know how to pronounce that, a vibrant fictional city in the American Southwest. It's basically New Mexico, and one of the most varied and diverse city locations ever built for Saints Row game. 3 friends join you on your incredible journey to become self-made. Oh, that was in the sentence. My bad. Nina, the driver and mechanic of Los Penteros, Kevin, who is a DJ and a member of the Idols, and Eli, who came to I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm gonna say New Mexico, to make his fortune as an entrepreneur. You play as the boss and get to decide who you want to be while building your very own criminal empire. Along the way, you must take on 3 brutal enemy factions who currently control New Mexico. Los Panteros are the muscle and power. The Idols are motivated by fame and notoriety. The Martial Defense Technologies are a private military conglomerate. Players will be able to enjoy seamless and untethered 2-player co-op together, whether they play on the PS4 or PS5. Okay, that doesn't matter. But yeah, so a little bit more.
If you watch the trailer, it's so Saints Row.
Yeah, from people who. So here's the thing. We're going to talk about that, but it's going to be co-op, which is dope. It's going to be 2-player co-op. We might have to play it together. They cited John.
I was gonna say that's definitely in the list.
Yeah, they cited John Wick, Baby Driver, and Hobbs and Shaw as their influences, and you can definitely feel that, and that perfectly fits Saints Row as influences. Because those
I love Hobbs and Shaw. Only honestly, Fast and Furious movie
I think that Saints Row could make a really, really good live action movie series, similar to kind of like Fast and Furious, where it's just ridiculous. According to Ryan McCaffrey from IGN, the gameplay will be less like Saints Row 4, which you had superpowers and you were in space, and more like Saints Row the Third, which is my personal favorite. It had the perfect balance of goofy and grounded for me personally, while still being, over the top. But here's where me and a lot of people on the internet agree, but I feel like this is also the reason why it works for you. The main characters to me look kind of bland and boring and are a little too different from the characters from the original series. I'm in a mindset of when you reboot a series like this, it's like they keep saying it's I forget the wording they use, but a different kind of reboot, in a sense, by saying that they completely are wiping the slate clean and starting with a new story, new characters. And I feel like they could have done that while still having a mix of old and new characters. They didn't need to completely do new characters. And according to somebody who actually played it and had a conversation with the developers, the old characters aren't even going to be in the game, which honestly kind of sucks. No Johnny Gat is kind of upsetting. I love me some Johnny Gat.
I was going to say Johnny Gat is like...
Johnny Gat was definitely the one character in that game that was very, I'm not going to judge it before actually seeing gameplay. We've seen a little bit of gameplay, but not really too much for me to judge it. We've seen 5 seconds of gameplay. And this is where it comes into where I was like, this is probably why it speaks to you a little bit more. It feels like Watch Dogs 2. And Watch Dogs 2, that's probably why you like it a lot, but Saints Row isn't Watch Dogs. So I was like, it looks like it'll be a good game, but it doesn't look like it'll be Saints Row. And honestly, I feel like they could have literally called it anything else.
I disagree with that.
They're using the Saints Row native to bring people in, but I don't know if you've seen a like to dislike ratio on that trailer. Boy, do people dislike that trailer. And I agree. I don't think it looks like Saints Row, but I'm not gonna jump on the gun of it. It's gonna be bad, because I don't think it's gonna be bad. I think it's gonna have great gameplay, and I'm hopeful that the characters will actually be really interesting. And I have a feeling that just because it's not like the original Saints Row games doesn't mean it's gonna be bad. It just means that it's gonna be very different. And honestly, I wasn't really looking for something very different. I was looking for something that literally had the same characters from the games, but was rebooted, and you could change the characters up a little bit, add some new characters, but you don't completely just throw the old characters away. I'm hoping that they actually do have, even if it's small, some cameos from older characters. At the very least, Johnny Gat shows up, right? Like, I think the game's going to be good. I'm just a little bit disappointed in the direction they decided to go.
I gotta disagree. I gotta say, I think it feels and looks a lot like Saints Row. It feels and looks like Saints Row to me. I am disappointed, however, that old characters won't show up because I miss Johnny Gat.
And for me, I'm like, it feels like Saints Row in terms of gameplay and how wacky it is. But the characters themselves, I actually forgot to mention this. Blessing Adeoye Jr. from Kind of Funny literally described it as a bunch of hipster millennials trying to pay off their student debt. That is literally the story. And I was like, that does not feel like Saints Row. Like, I don't think, like, the thing is, I don't think these characters are necessarily bad. I don't think that the story is going to be bad. I just don't think it's going to be Saints Row in terms of story, especially since they got rid of all those characters that made it so interesting. And these characters, they're like Watch Dogs characters, and within the world of Watch Dogs that took place in San Francisco, they fit. A bunch of hipster millennials fit in San Francisco. But in New Mexico, where they're supposed to be gangsters trying to, build a criminal empire, it doesn't work as well for me.
I still don't necessarily agree with that. I understand where you're coming from. I still don't necessarily know.
Like, yeah, I understand why you like it because you love Watch Dogs 2, and I love it too. Not as much.
But I don't see it as Watch Dogs 2 though. That's the thing. I don't see it as.
I see the character. I don't see that's the thing though. I'm not saying the game. I'm trying to make it clear that the gameplay is Saints Row. The characters are like
Watch Dogs. I know, but even in like the characters I've seen so far, it doesn't look like Watch Dogs to me.
Like, the characters look like and feel like Watch Dogs characters in terms of personality and design. But the main character itself, you make the main character. So the main character could look however you want. And I always
main character.
Video games, we talked about it before, like back before Cyberpunk came out. I always make a woman in any video game. And I just make a woman version of myself.
I did that in Fallout. I do that in every Fallout I play.
Yeah, but yeah,